Welcome back, guys. Today we have another lightsaber to unbox from Ultrasabers. They had a raffle. It was their second summer raffle. I didn't win a prize, but I got a nice discount on this lightsaber and free shipping, and this one has sound. Coming up on the StoryDTechtive. So who doesn't want a lightsaber? Ultrasabers, why did I choose them? They have lightsabers that are based on the movies. They have original designs, and they're coming out with new stuff all the time. They also have raffles, like at least one every season. And in these raffles, they give away like 105 free lightsabers as prizes. I mean, who's doing that? So I entered the raffle. I didn't win one of the 105, but I think everybody's a winner because what's in this box, I think, will astound you. So how do you unbox an Ultrasabers? Well, if you've watched the unboxing videos as much as I have, you'll realize there's an art form to that alone. First thing you need is a strong utilitarian blade. As Mr. Dundee once said, now that's a knife. In every story, in every mission in life, there's a quest. In this case in point, it's to get your lightsaber, and the box becomes the obstacle between you and your saber. There's a way of handling that. Go something like this. Once you've decapitated the enemy box, nothing stands between you and your Ultrasaber. We have a few extras, blade plugs, and there's a belt clip in there. I order an extra pommel. That's for another saber that I'm customizing. There should also be an initiate blade in here. Blade. Put that aside. All right. So much for the box. Oh, and we can't forget the most important part of opening an Ultrasabers is the bubble wrap. Because everybody loves that sound. This is called the Electrum Wind. If you don't recognize it, it's the lightsaber that Mace Windu used in Chapter 3, Revenge of the Sith. The prequels weren't the fan favorite Star Wars, but they were my Star Wars. I got to work with Mace Windu on a little story called Emissaries to Malastare, and that was a lot of fun, and I've wanted this lightsaber for a long time. And I finally got one thanks to Ultrasabers. So kudos to them for putting this out. Now, this is not going to be exactly a movie replica. There were some little changes, maybe for licensing purposes, and maybe to get the battery pack and everything in. It's a little bit different than the movie, but it's very, very close. Also, I didn't choose to go with a purple blade like in the movie because I wanted to customize it a little bit. So, without further ado, let me introduce you to not the Electrum Wind, but the Electrum Fire. With a fire orange blade and a matching AV switch. There is a flash on clash, which is red. It also has a lockup, which is when the sabers connect and they're kind of sputtering and sparking. I mean, how cool is that? There's something I wanted to show you guys, which I didn't really get to do because usually these things, when they arrive, they have a little tab between the battery pack and keeping the saber from coming on so it doesn't drain the battery. Mine didn't have that, but I want to show you what happens when you first pull out the tab and it ignites. What I've done here is intentionally pull one of the batteries out because you can't have it unboxing or have a sound saber without hearing what it does when you first power it up. which goes something like this. Also very cool. I really like the way they played with the design in this saber. Also just all the different layers and modeling of this lightsaber. I mean, it's definitely a work of art. Now I got mine with the rounded grips. You can get them with a squared off edge and a chamfered grip, but I kind of preferred the rounded ones to the square. Also, this is kind of a bit of a rubberized texture here and here. The CoverTech wheel comes standard on this lightsaber. And if you don't know what a CoverTech wheel is, it clips on your belt. They actually sell little belt clips that you can wear these that hook right over this, which is on there, and it hooks on until you release it with the little grips on the side, which is also very cool. You can get the pommel in black instead of gold, but I went with the gold. And even there on the pommel piece, you look at the grooves and the layers. Also, this, compared to my first lightsaber, is definitely more solid. It's a heavier piece. You're getting a lot of metal for your money here. The emitter has a series of little circular windows going around it, which is really nice. Also, I like how they've got the power button situated here. That's not exactly movie accurate, but I think it looks really cool. And this is the lighted AV switch, as you probably saw when I powered it up before. I went with light sound, and light sound is basically one sound font. You can get other tiers of sound that have different sound fonts. I just went with the one, but it's far from being a light sound. I mean, this thing is really loud. And you can see the windows. It's also sensitive to movement. And it came with a free blade plug. I ordered this one, and this one came free. This is the fancier one. Which is also a nice little touch if you want to store it without the blade. So, why did I go for the fire orange instead of the purple? I mean, isn't orange just a step away from red, which is the dark side? No, think of it this way. Orange is like a sunset or a sunrise. It's kind of the balance between the light and the dark. I mean, the dark side does have better weapons. For that matter, they have really nice baked goods that they're always sending me, but that's not important. I do enjoy the characters who have a nice struggle between the light and the dark. I mean, what would Star Wars be without Darth Vader? The Sith, the Jedi Council, they're doing their thing and they're fighting with one another, and then Anakin comes along and he changes everybody's life forever. The prequels to the sequels, it's all about Anakin. And even in the sequels, his children and his children's children are trying to deal with the things that he started and the things that he put in action. So from beginning to end, it's about Anakin. We're going to fire this up one more time just to get a look at it. I mean, how could you not love that? The windows from front to back to side, I mean, this thing is just, it's just sleek. So what the heck do you do with the lightsaber once you've purchased one? Put it on a shelf? Well, you could do that, but there's also a number of groups out there. And these groups are primarily about community. They're very non-judgmental. They do cosplay, they choreograph fights, and they get exercise. So it's physical fitness. There are other groups that put on protective gear and duel with these things. Ultrasabers makes a really solid product, and that's why they're popular, because they're kind of indestructible. These blades, there's videos you can find on YouTube where there's people trying to damage the blades and doing all kinds of crazy things with them, and they stand up to a lot of punishment. Aside from that, there are other people still that do flow arts. They spin the lightsaber, there's various thrusts and martial arts kind of combined with Tai Chi and a meditative kind of exercise. It's all about having fun, but it's also about living a little bit of the fantasy. And if you can live the fantasy, you can dare to dream. And if you can dare to dream, who knows where those dreams may take you. If you want to know more about Ultrasabers, I have a link in the description below. If you want to subscribe, and why shouldn't you, there's also a button for that and a bell to be rung, and that will alert you when I put up new videos. Because if you don't, the dark side is waiting, and you won't get any baked goods.